right here is the detail camera app. I'm gonna go over how to set it up if you have only one camera and two speakers. I'm gonna go over how to set it up, how to do all of the editing, and then finally to export. Let's jump right in. All right, so right here is the detail app on my phone, and this is the pro version. The pro and the free version are the same on how you actually set it up and record, but all of the extras will be on the pro version. So let's come into the detail app here. So we're gonna press that, and now we have our options right here. So to actually have this firstly set up, we're going to press this plus button on the bottom. Cool, and this is what it's going to show. So let me kind of go over this real quick. So we have the options on the left side. So we're gonna come down and we're gonna hop into the white balance right here. So you have your options on here on how it looks, depending if you're outside, if you're inside, and all this kind of stuff. You could just set it to auto. I do it to locked because I am indoors. I have certain lights where they are going to be. So I have that set up. We're gonna drop down and we're going to do audio. You do have an option to only use the mic on the phone. It's not great, and it all depends on how far you're sitting away. So I would say right here, I have a lot more than you actually need. I got a mic for me and I have a mic for him, and that is going into a Rodecaster Pro 2 that is then going right into the actual phone. You don't have to have something like that. You can just have something that clips onto your shirt, which is perfectly fine. So after you have all that set in place, it will show up right here. It will change, and then as well, it'll change up at the top. After you have all that stuff set in stone, right, you're going to flip your camera now. So right here, because it is a podcast option, you will have your phone looking like this off on the actual side, so you can get a more wide view. You do want a wide shot because when you're gonna be doing this stuff in post, you are able to crop in a small bit. So like right here up on the side, I have this small piece I want to take out. I could do that because I had a wide shot, and I would use the 1x camera lens. It's the best option. And then after you have all that set up, all you're going to do is press record, and then you're about to speak onto all this extra stuff, and then you're gonna press stop, and then you are good to go. Now let's head over to the actual app. I'm gonna show you what options you have and what tricks you can do if you have the free or the pro option. All right, so right here is the home screen. What you are about to do is you're just gonna go into what you recorded, and then you're going to pick that. And then from there, you are all set in stone. What I do, I'm gonna go over on this side here on the left. I'm gonna go over to framing. So it all depends on what you want. And like how I was saying earlier, I want this little part over here up on the side out of it. So you have two options. You could use what they actually see. So you can crop in to there, but as you can see, I'm not in the actual shot. So you can go to reset zoom on this top spot right here, and then press that, and it's going to go back to what it looked like before. So I'm going to actually scroll over to where I am in the shot. So let's get out of that. I'm going to come in and right here. Okay. So I'm going to come over to framing, and right here, we could kind of zoom in and do all of that first. And I say do that. So yeah, either or, you can use theirs or you can do yours. I say zoom in first because if you have this split up, as in, so I'm going to keep that. So you're going to press that check button. If you see here on the bottom option, if you split this and then you zoom in on this track. Like, let's say you zoom, let's just say you did that. Okay, cool. It's not going to appear on that track. So first, I would say to do this, and don't split it. And then, so let's come back over to the left side, and then we're going to go to filter. So A1, A2, A3, that's looking crazy. So you choose what you want to do. You're going to press the OK and get out of that. So now you are done with this left side. So now let's come down to the bottom side. You have all these options on the bottom, and all I'm doing is scrolling over with my finger on the bottom. So right now, if you have the free option, you will have to come in and do all this stuff manually, as in you're gonna come here on the bottom and scroll over. And it is cool because you can zoom in on this line right here. So for a podcast, all you want is smooth. And of course, if somebody sneezes or coughs or goes like, in some cases, those ums are a part of the podcast. I'm actually going to split that right there, and you could delete that, and it's going to shoot everything. The over, you're just gonna talk into the stuff like that. And if you want certain things, like again, if you want something else, you could split there, you could split that, and then you can come back and zoom in on whoever. You're going to come up to the frame option, and then you could zoom in however you want right there. It's all up to you. So you have your option for presets over here. You could kind of scroll over. I first go all the way down to the bottom, as in single, right? You're gonna use that. Cool, you could do that. I don't even like those. I would prefer this one right here. It's like on an actual phone, and if you hold it, it's going to save it as a preset. I already have it saved. Okay, cool. As you can see, it's now your option. And then you have split screen option. So let's come over to the side, and then you have your options for split screen. Depending on what you're doing and how far you guys sit away, this could be an option for sure. So to have these have their own, you can drag and zoom. So like for me, let me come out a bit, kind of something of that sort right there. And then over here, I could have him over here. Bro, he's looking sketch. Have him like that, and you can press done, right? And then you are all good to go, as in like this. This is how it's going.
Yeah. So there's no screen on or nothing?
Depending, of course, what you want yours to look like. And then you have your layout as well. This is like the exact same thing as your presets as well. And now we're gonna go to the audio. So it is all up to you. You have an option to enhance your audio. It takes a long time for sure, but if it's not great, how what you are speaking into is not good, then you could do this option. You would just highlight it and then do that, and then again it's going to do its work, right? You're going to press OK. So now here is the pro option on what it's going to do. So you have your option here. You can come up to the top, right? You can do auto edit from here, or you can scroll down and you're going to go over to this AI auto edit on the bottom. So let's just use this one. Cool. And you have your two options. For right now, I'm going to do the podcast option, and I'm going to take the captions off. So we're going to press continue. This is actually, like, guys, it takes no time depending how long your episode is. From here, you have your options. You are going to hear what they are saying, like each speaker, like me and him.
Can you hear me?
This one is me. So it all depends on what you want to do. If you want somebody talking and it goes from side to side all the time, you could zoom in here over to me. And then right here on the bottom, you have an option to see who's speaking for like shorts and reels and all that stuff. So that one's me.
Okay, 100 dudes in the room.
Okay, this is him. So let's zoom in a small bit and we're just gonna come over to him and then this one as well. Cool.
For how long? But what?
And then for this one right here, I'm not going to zoom in and all that stuff like that. So I'm just gonna leave it and I'm going to put this one on me. And you can go back and switch these after, we press this button, let's go. That was fast. That was crazy fast. So let's just kind of see what this does.
Can you hear me? Yeah. So there's no screen on or nothing? No screen.
So it's already zoomed in on me, which is interesting. So let's kind of come over and see where it cuts at. Okay.
Get over there and clap. Then go ahead. Bro, you have to. You gotta get it, bro. All right. So here's the big.
All right. So that was pretty cool. Let's see what it did here.
Oh shit. Got one loose in a wrap. Okay, 100 dudes in the room. Left one loose. So
that's crazy. So you do have an option on how it slides from side to side. So what you're going to do is come down to transition right here and you have your options, right? So if you wanted to scale in each time, you can. If you wanted to slide over, or if you want, that's nuts. So in some cases, because it is on a podcast, you don't want one. So let's do none. You have to press apply to all clips. Cool.
can you hear me?
Okay, we're gonna go over to where it cuts.
Then bro, you have to. You gotta sync it up, bro. All right.
So that's how that actually looks there. And if you have a certain person talk, and then right here, because he looks at me, I could split this. So let me come down to the bottom. You could split that and have that pan to me, but make sure, okay, so it comes to me and he speaks again. So like right here, I would split it because this one is on me, right? So from here, I'm gonna go to frame and I'm gonna put me into the actual frame. Cool. And it should be on me. It should have.
One loose. So it's a room then.
And then it comes back to him. So you guys, it is all up to you on what you want to do. That was the podcast option. So now let's come back into your options here on what you did here. So let's come into here. Let's take this one off because that was the podcast option. So here's the option for the talking head. Go to auto edit, right? So now we're on the talking head option. So if you want zoom cuts, add title, captions for a podcast, I don't want this stuff. So all I'm gonna do is add in those zoom cuts. So we're gonna come here, we're gonna go to continue. I will put how long this took on the actual screen. So we have a lot more options right now. So if you scroll all the way down, this is legit. These ones are a lot longer than the bottom ones because these are shorts, you're going to put on YouTube or reels for Instagram, all that kind of stuff. But for right now, if you're going to do this for a podcast, you want something that is a lot longer. So let's hop into this first one, and it has a lot more cuts. So let's see what it does, because for a podcast, all you want to do is have it cut each speaker, like switch scenes from each speaker and not really take off what they are saying, right? Like it has to flow smooth as in you are speaking to a person. So let's hear what this sounds like from right here.
That's great. Like as in what? Like, nah. What are we doing? Let's start it. I'm gonna sync it. 1, 2, 3. Good to go. All right, Kenny. Hope you're doing great. What's happening? Just enjoying myself. That's good.
So like you guys, it cuts so much.
Big question. 1 gorilla or 100 men. But hold on, hold that thought because it's too vague, right?
The gorilla, 100%.
So he thinks the one gorilla will win. It's all good. But guys, if you guys look,
A few days or so.
Right now,
so you guys, it's it does too many cuts for my likings.
I'll have it on the screen.
yeah,
but
for sure. Taps it, crushes it.
yeah, so
Yeah, nah, I wouldn't use that option for podcasting. This one right here has a lot more cuts.
so then or you have to. All right. So here's the big question: 1 gorilla.
That's crazy. So again, I wouldn't use this option for a podcast. I would only use that if I were doing something like this, if I were trying to explain it. Let's actually see what it did for shorts.
Like, hey, you have to do it within
And you're not even in frame? Legit.
few days or so.
Right now,
So like right here, what I would have to do, I would have to go in, reset the zoom. I would have to come in, do that and go, okay.
Like a few days or so.
right now, we're fighting.
So this one, again, I would have to come in and scroll over and do that for every single cut if it did not get the cut right.
Days or so.
Right now, we're fighting.
Oh shit.
That one loose in a rat. Okay, 100.
Okay, done. And then, ooh, this looks nuts.
I'll have it on the screen.
Yeah,
but
for sure. Taps it, crushes it.
yeah, so that
So, all up, guys, ooh, I wouldn't do that one to the export, right? So let's say, let's come back out of that and we're going to come to this one right here. Let's just say you did it all set in stone. You didn't have any screw ups or all that kind of stuff to export. So we're going to come to this top right part. You're going to click that and you have your options on the side here. So for the free version, you can only export in 1080p. For the paid version, you could do 4K, which is cool. And then right here, you have your options right here. You can go to share link, audio, and all that stuff. If you wanted to export the audio, it'll do that automatically. And then from there, all you're going to do it is save, and it's going to export it. It's going to save it to your device. And that is it. I hope you guys liked it. If you have any questions or comments, put them down below. I will put these videos on the screen. It's going to help you a little bit more with your content creation. Have a good day.